Welcome, everybody. We are the Princeton Review and Tutor.com. We will be presenting a little bit about our organization today, our recent TEA approval recognition through with Tutor.com through the Texas Education Agency. We're going to have a spotlight discussion today with Kennendale ISD. We're so gracious and grateful to have a partner on today's webinar discussion, Ms. Laura Wells, who we will introduce here in just a little bit. And we will also do a live Q&A. So we do like to engage you all, the audience, into today's discussion. This is an organic discussion for all school districts throughout the state of Texas to be a part of learning not only more about Tutor.com and the Princeton Review, but also how a school partner has teamed up with us to address learning loss and, of course, bringing students back up to grade level. So, and just to also throw out on the table, thank you all for already going ahead and contributing into the chat. Just to also contribute to today's icebreaker, a proud Texas State alum, and so my favorite U.S. president is Lyndon Baines Johnson, who was an alum of my institution. So just to throw that out there for all those who were Jimmy Carter fans, going to go ahead and put LBJ in today's spotlight as well. My name is Zachary Gonzalez. Nice to meet you all. Thank you all for joining. I see some more people joining into today's discussion. Welcome. We are grateful to have Ms. Laura Wells here. Laura, do you want to say a quick hello?
Hi, Zachary. Hi, everybody. I'm glad to be here.
She represents Region 11, so she's up in the she's up in the Tarrant County area and is with Kennendale ISD. See some other folks joining from throughout the state. Welcome. And I serve as Director of Educational Partnerships here in the state of Texas. So it's a pleasure to have all you here today. And then, of course, we have behind the scenes, I want to quickly introduce Miss Mercedes Munn, who is our Director of K-12 Marketing. Mercedes.
Hi, nice to meet everyone today. Hope you enjoyed today's webinar. Thanks, Zach.
Of course. All righty. For a quick introduction, I'll cover some ground rules for who we are, quick housekeeping so that you know a little bit more about the Princeton Review and Tutor.com if this is your first time hearing about us. We are the Princeton Review. We provide test preparation to students not only in K-12 schools, but also in graduate level throughout higher education institutions. We provide AP preparation as well as other academic support to K-12 schools, whether that is live online or perhaps we're training teachers during the school year for professional development to also bring Princeton Review support to your local school district. We have some other products such as College Admissions Self-Paced Program, which helps students with application tools and helping them apply to universities and colleges as they approach the application cycle their senior year. And nonetheless, with Tutor.com, today's main focus, we provide one-to-one tutoring 24/7 in over 200 subjects, not only in English, but also in Spanish. And then we also provide limited French, Vietnamese, and Mandarin support. We are going to show you a little bit about how who our tutors are and where they come from, but it is a truly interactive, online tutoring platform with chat and voice support for K through 12 students. For the second year in a row, Tutor.com has been recognized as a TEA approved provider with the Vetted Texas Tutor Core Initiative. And if you're unfamiliar with this initiative from the Texas Education Agency, please do go to tea.texas.gov. There is a ton of great resources for Texas tutoring supports. In a nutshell, this is an initiative that accelerates student learning through high impact tutoring with a goal of reaching over 1 million students. You can see a full list of providers. The Princeton Review and Tutor.com are one of those providers. helping with those requirements to provide that supplemental instruction for students K through 12. So we're really proud to be teaming up with TEA and school districts in this initiative. We, as you can see, meet the research-based component needs, and we serve regions 1 through 20 all throughout the state of Texas. Here's a high-level overview of our platform. Once again, the Princeton Review and Tutor.com believes in providing tutoring on demand for students at any time of day. 24/7 is truly the means within a student, which within a student can access Tutor.com. There are over 200 subjects. We go beyond the common core subjects and even into parent coaching, AP, IB support, foundational skill sets. And once again, students who may not be native English speakers can also access Tutor.com, whether it is in Spanish or the limited Mandarin, French, and Vietnamese support that we also provide. We provide a drop-off essay review. Within 12 hours, students can get professional feedback from us on any sort of document, whether that's a writing sample that they're working on for classes. Maybe they're a younger student developing language and they need to work through spelling, grammar, reading with us, which literacy is a big component of this VTTC initiative. And so students can get that support back within 12 hours, no matter what grade level they're in. We provide text support, meaning that you can chat just like you're doing today on today's webinar through a chat box, or a student can activate a microphone so that they can talk verbally with a tutor, just like I'm doing with you all right now. We have file sharing. Students can take photos of their students can take photos of their workbook. Students can upload a document that they may have that a teacher has passed out to them or sent them electronically. And we have rigorous tutoring vetting. So we have over 3,500 tutors that are behind our learning services team, assisting students in their one-on-one sessions. We partner with school districts to implement this support platform to your learning management system. So no matter if you use ClassLink, Schoology, Google, any different learning management system, we can have a conversation about how to integrate this in a safe manner on your school district's platform and website. We team up together to provide data and analytics for what's going on with how students are utilizing Tutor.com, time of day of the week, subjects, how many times a student is logging in. And every student can go back and rewatch a session that they've hosted with us as well. So everything is recorded, everything is transcribed. You can go back, whether you're a student, parent, or school district liaison, and go back and watch some of these sessions in real time. We also have test prep resources. The Princeton Review is a big name brand when it comes to test preparation support. We provide SAT and ACT preparation already on Tutor.com. So students don't need to go look for other resources outside of Tutor.com. If they are planning on taking a PSAT, ACT, or SAT, they already have a toolkit built within the platform, pre-recorded video lessons, drills, and practice tests that they can go through 365 days a year. We are compliant with other privacy and security, CCPA, FERPA, COPA compliance, and we have a dedicated client support team and technical support available 7 days a week. Mercedes, next slide. So who our tutors are. We have 3,500 individuals behind this endeavor. Tutor.com also started in the year 2000. So we've had over 23 years of refining not only our platform, but also our process for tutoring. We are proud to say that we have the industry's largest network of tutors. Every year we have up to 150,000 that register to work with us and tutor your students. And of course, we have to go through rigorous vetting and background checks and education verification to make sure that they are up to the standards and needs of any subject that they're going to be tutoring within. And at the end of the day, only about 1.2% of those who apply with us annually are successfully onboarded as tutors. We don't have time today to go through a full demo of what the platform looks like in real time as a student. So we'll share some screen grabs today so you can get an idea of what the interface looks like. Feel free to reach out to us afterwards from this webinar. Reach out to schedule yourself a demo to go through the nitty gritty and nuts and bolts of what this actually looks like in real time as you're talking with a tutor. Here's a screen grab from our online classroom. Once you click into your learning management system to start with Tutor.com, you'll choose a subject, and then you will be entering into an online classroom. Within 30 seconds to a minute is our average wait time. This is a screen grab of a student working on math. As you can see, you have a chat box on the right. Looks like they're engaging back and forth about a problem that the student might be working on for homework. We have a whiteboard that the tutor has decided to use for this particular session. And you'll see a multifunctional toolbar on the left. You can integrate shapes, you can upload a file, you can chart lines and draw a graph. As you can see, there's a graphing plot in the background as well of this whiteboard. And then of course you can draw if you prefer, or type y equals 3x minus 4 to begin to work on your problem. So this is a quick screen grab of what this session looks like that a student is working on for math. Talked about drop-off writing review. This is one of our most popular support features with Tutor.com. What makes it powerful as well is that students can get feedback within 12 hours. So another truly 24/7 service where no matter what time of day a student is working on an essay, college admissions essay or purpose statement, scholarship essay, maybe it's a middle school or elementary school student working on grammar, spelling, book reports, anything that has to do with Microsoft Word or document related typing of some sort, but whether that's in English or maybe even in Spanish, you can use the drop-off review to get that detailed feedback and expert comments within 12 hours. We do line-by-line support. We also do give you a high-level summary overview of the areas that a student requests our help for. So if a student is concerned about supporting the purpose of the argument or the topic that they've been asked to write about, they can indicate that on the interface whenever they're dropping off an essay with us. So the true discussion for today is that we wanted to have a partner come on board and talk about their experience, not only working with the Princeton Review and Tutor.com, but also what it looks like from a school district's perspective. We know that we have a lot of school district attendees here today, and so we thought it best to have somebody who's in your shoes also join us to talk about their experience working with the Princeton Review and Tutor.com. So today I'd like to introduce, and once again, we're so grateful to have Miss Laura Wells, who is Federal Grants Administrator with Kennendale ISD. Laura, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So for today's discussion, we thought, let's come up with some questions that would help our school partners understand a little bit more about Kennendale ISD and how your initiatives are also possible or utilized through partnering with the Princeton Review and Tutor.com. So here are some questions that we're going to be discussing today. As you can see, they're open-ended. It's not a yes/no question. This is really an opportunity for us to have Laura tell you all a little bit more about Kennendale ISD or other reasons why Tutor.com is part of the school district priorities at this time. So let's go ahead and get into question number one. Laura, tell us a little bit about Kennendale ISD and your students.
Okay, so we are Kennendale ISD. I like to tell everybody that we're a suburb of a suburb. We're in between Mansfield and Arlington. We have over 3,000 students in our school, and currently we have 4 schools. We had the pleasure of having a school flood last year. Very much fun. And right now we're turning it into an early childhood center. So we'll have 5 schools. So we're not too little, but we're definitely not big.
Awesome. So Why did you decide to, you know about the Princeton Review and Tutor.com. What was it that inspired you to bring Tutor.com into your school district?
Well, I think we're like a lot of other school districts, we had grant money, and grant money is wonderful, but it comes with a lot of guidelines. And we decided that having tutors for our students would be one of the best ideas. And we wanted to make sure that we touched everybody. So we started researching tutors, and the more that I talked to Tutor.com, the more interested I got. And to be honest, Tutor.com even came to our board meeting, which I was really pleased with.
That's wonderful. All right, Mercedes. So for question number 3, how are you currently utilizing the program? You were excited about Tutor.com. Tutor.com supported the district. How are you currently, partnering with us for your school district goals?
So what we're doing right now is we have the secondary, and we gave them unlimited access, because we figured at secondary, they don't go home and do homework. A lot of them have jobs. A lot of them have after school programs. So we wanted to ensure that if they went to the football game and they didn't get home till midnight and they had something due and they really needed to work on it, that they had that opportunity. And we get alerts, and which if you go with tutor.com, you'll understand what an alert is. So we can see when the kids go, and we have a lot of kids that are doing it like once they've gotten off of work, once they've done stuff. So they're not doing it at 6 or 7 o'clock in the afternoon. And then our elementary students, they have until 10 o'clock, but we figured that would be good for them. We also wanted our teachers to use it in the classroom, because we know that teachers work with the students, and sometimes they step back and they're like, I don't know what else to do. I don't know how to get this idea across. And so we asked our teachers to start using it in the classroom. If you have a student who's struggling, see if they can show that student a different way. So we're doing it that way with our students, and so far so good.
That's wonderful. And as you all, for the school districts that are here, as you all think about implementing a tutoring platform to your school district, once again, TEA has incredible resources available on their website. If you'd like to read through a toolkit, if you'd like to watch any of their former webinar discussions, they have a lot of support built into the tea.texas.gov vetted Texas Tutor Core Initiative webpage, where you can dive through what different school districts are also doing to integrate tutoring for K through 12 students during school or after school or before school. So thank you for sharing that, Laura. And also feel free to keep on chiming in the chat if you have questions, if something resonates with you, if you like something that you heard, or you have questions about something Laura or we're bringing up today, feel free to go ahead and pop any questions into the chat. So as we're talking about tutor.com, there's a lot, a student can use it anytime, any day. What do you feel having 24/7 one-to-one tutoring has had for your students?
Every year since we've had tutor.com, I've gone to the high school to talk to them about it, to talk to the students. And one of the things that they liked was that there was someone who could work with just them. We know that our teachers, when they work with students, they do have small groups, and sometimes they even work one-on-one, which, we all do try to do that. But having this, the students are able to have 100% attention from that tutor. And then one thing that I do like is when that tutor tutors that student, if they're not getting the concept and that teacher feels like they're not improving, then we get an alert, and I'm able to go and talk to that teacher and talk to the principal and let them know that, hey, this student's struggling. And most of the times the teachers email me back and they're like, yeah, I know, we've been working on it, and I can see that they're progressing. So I just feel like our students being able to do it whenever they can has enabled them to use it. Because I feel like if we had said, okay, secondary, you're only going to get it till 10 o'clock, then we would have missed all those other kids that needed it and never got the chance to use it.
Definitely. Yeah, and some students are working, like you're saying, maybe they're taking care of brothers and sisters, or maybe they don't have access to a Chromebook or a Wi-Fi. So having it available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and on any device too, so long as they log in, has truly been powerful. So that's fabulous to hear. Let's hop to the next slide, Mercedes. So what recommendations do you have for districts interested in partnering with the Princeton Review and Tutor.com?
One of the things that we did, and I think was probably one of the best things we did, was we reached out to other districts. We found out who was using Tutor.com and we talked to them, because I think, like I said in the beginning, we reached out to a lot of different tutoring companies and we read about them, and we went through the vetted on TEA. We looked at that and we talked to a lot of people, but just talking to the other districts, how they're using it, the success they're having, and even the struggles, because we wanted to know about the struggles. And I'll be honest, we want more of our students to use it, and we're still working on that. But just talking to other districts and what they did helped us to maybe not have as many hurdles.
Definitely. I see we have a question in the chat as well. Looks like Monique shared, our high school teachers offer after-school tutoring. Does your campus as well? If so, is this platform seen as competition or additional support?
Additional support. As a matter of fact, we have a program going on at the high school right now that they're doing after school, and they are using it, and we're encouraging them to use it.
Fabulous. Yeah, and some of the best practices, once again, just to share for those on today's call, some of the best practices for tutoring would be, at least 3 times a week, scheduling sessions for a student, each session at least 30 minutes long. There's no time limit for a tutoring student that's using Tutor.com. We don't have a 30-minute or 1-hour limit where the session cuts off after a while. So you will truly see how long a student is using our platform, and there is a timestamp. So if you're a district trying to monitor, well, Zach's using Tutor.com, he's a 9th grader at James Bowie High School. How do I see how long he's used this? Well, you can actually go in and there's a live report where it will tell you even monthly the total usage of each account registered through Kennendale or through whatever school district, and the amount of time students have used that platform. And then other best practices, which I'm happy that you're sharing as well, Laura, building it into the school day or before or after, that is a big recommendation and best practice from TEA. And then once again, we're not replacing any instruction. An English teacher is not coming in and saying, all right, students, Tutor.com is how you're going to learn English for today. This is a supplemental tool. So we are not supplanting anything that Kennendale or any other districts are working on. We are merely supporting and supplementing that instruction before, during, or after the school day. And having that 24/7 support has helped us avoid a lot of scheduling conflicts. And also, if a student is unavailable during a particular hour of day, during a particular week, they still can go and access and dedicate that time towards that one-to-one tutoring. So just to highlight some best practices as well. Thank you for the question as well. Feel free to keep on chiming in. What are some other questions that you all have out there, just based on today's discussion or based on some of the questions we've already talked about?
Zach, do you mind if I add one more thing?
Absolutely.
Okay, so at the secondary level, we have bilingual from K through 5. And then at the secondary level, we have ESL, and we're bilingual in Spanish. And so one of the things that our teachers struggled with at the beginning of the year was we got an influx of Spanish-speaking students, and they were worried that the concept wasn't getting across to them, and especially in the math. Because at secondary, it's not just adding and it's not manipulatives, it's so much more. So some of our math teachers started doing this in their class when they wanted to ensure that that student was getting the concept. They would use Tutor.com in Spanish. So that student would do it during the class period, work on the paper that the other students were working on, and then they could tell whether that student was getting the concept or not.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, supporting English learners is one of the biggest needs that we've seen across the state of Texas, and of course in other states as well. Being born and raised in Texas, Spanish is a huge need, and so we're really happy to be able to support native Spanish-speaking students, first-gen ESL students in this journey, especially because tutoring has been shown to be effective with those populations. So another great recommendation, Laura. Thanks for sharing that. What other questions out there for those chiming in today? What questions do you have? Is there anything that you've tried at your district that maybe you're looking for guidance in, or is there? If you haven't implemented a tutoring program, or if you're designing something at the moment, do you have any questions for Laura or for us that we can also answer today?
Laura, you mentioned that some of the teachers are using the platform during the school day. Could you share some of the ways in which they're using it during the school day?
We had a couple of the elementary teachers that were, when they were doing small groups, they had some of the students that struggled with a concept. And so what they would do is the next day they would have that student use a tutor and then work on that concept, and then they would keep on building on it. And like I said, our secondary, they use it in the classroom. And so, and I will say that for teachers, it's kind of scary. It's not something that we're used to, but I think our teachers are kind of starting to realize, hey, this helps. It's the student can get on, because we have Clever, and so they get onto it right through Clever, which is something that all our students are used to. So it's not any more work on our teachers, and so I think that made it easier for them to use it in the classroom.
Thank you, Laura. And then there's another question, Zach. Can tutors work with dual credit courses?
So students can, whenever they go to Tutor.com on their learning management system, as Laura was saying, they use Clever. So as a student is logging in, there's a subject listing that they can choose from. It's not going to be coded as dual credit US history. The subject offerings will be essentially US history or AP US history. Maybe IB would be another tier, but it will not be, you can use the service for that class and that subject, but depending on what the name or what the subject is of that institution, it may depend. So it's hard to answer if it could be applicable or not, but we do offer IB support, regular support, and then AP support. So if it falls within those three, yes.
And then Zach, there's also another question from Cherie Porter. Are
Sure.
schools using Tutor.com to meet House Bill 4545 needs?
Yes. So the Vetted Texas Tutor Core initiative through TEA is essentially the House Bill 4545 initiative. We are also supporting the Texas COVID Learning Acceleration Support, so the T-Class grant. That's also a set of funding out there for school districts to accelerate learning loss in the wake of COVID-19. So yes, Tutor.com can be utilized in those forms and fashions.
And the students can request the tutor. I know that like at the high school level, we have a couple of students that are like, I like this, because we get the comments, I like this tutor, and they continuously use them. So that's another thing that we do like.
Yes, if a student does build positive rapport with a tutor, they can review them and continue to schedule time with them around their availability, or, you'll continuously work with them in that subject. Not all of our tutors tutor every subject. So, yes, you can use Tutor.com for more than just math and reading. You can use it for other subjects, before, during, or after the school day. Once again, we can provide you all a demo so you can see a full listing of the subjects. You can also reach out to us after today's discussion, and we can send you a subject list so you can look at each of those subjects and how we would be able to support your students. But yes, that's also another best practice from TEA is, if possible, that students receive that one-to-one tutoring with the same tutor. So that's a big priority. And once again, this is truly one-to-one tutoring. We do not have multiple sessions happening at the same time with one of our tutors. A tutor is truly working with one student at one time, chatting or talking with them. With the way that TEA has written the Vetted Texas Tutor Core guidelines, you are able to use one tutor for up to 3 students, but our sessions and our platform is truly built for one-to-one. So you don't need to worry about piling in 3 or 4 students to a session. Plus, it would also change the data in the reporting. So our platform is not built to tutor 3 or 4 students at once. It's truly built and designed for one-to-one tutoring, which we have found has been very effective over 23 years. What other questions do we have? Sorry, I can't see all the questions. So Mercedes, I'll let you share them.
Oh, no problem. Please continue to submit any questions you have through the Q&A feature. And then as folks are submitting questions, just to reiterate Zach's point on how we support Spanish speakers, our platform does provide two-way voice. So that's really a great option for English learners as well as the younger learners.
Yes, and the platform does change. The interface does change to Spanish. So when you're actually on Tutor.com, if I'm a native Spanish speaker and I don't, and I'm struggling to understand every word in English to be able to connect to a Spanish tutor, I can actually change the whole interface to Spanish. So another step further that we've taken that dual language and multi-language integration for your students, which is very, very needed here in the state of Texas.
And then one other note I'll add about dual credit courses, because we support higher ed, we have tutors who work with higher ed subjects. So those same tutors are also able to support dual enrollment programs.
Thank you for putting a finer point to that, Mercedes. Absolutely. We do have a higher ed division of this as well.
Okay. Are there any other questions? Please, again, feel free to add any question you have to the Q&A box, and Zach or Laura will be happy to answer that question. Let's give it another minute or so just to collect any final questions.
And if there was something you really enjoyed hearing today or something that resonated with you, please let us know. We're partners in this effort. There are a lot of school districts out there doing different things to support their tutoring endeavors. We want to hear what you've heard that's been helpful. If you've tried something different, or if you have any suggestions or any feedback, we'd love to hear that. So please do follow up with us or engage in the chat. We'd love to hear that feedback. And Laura, if you have any other comments that you would like to share for all those today that are joining in, you're more than welcome to also share any other feedback that you think would be helpful.
Janelle Thomas says, thank you. Thank you, Janelle. Thanks for joining. One other question, do we have tutors who support AP subjects? Zach?
Yes, we have a full listing of AP subjects. And actually, some of the region service centers in the state of Texas have actually been pretty vocal about our platform having the best AP support out of other platforms that are out there in the marketplace. So yes, I will definitely be able to share a listing of those AP subjects. I don't know the number, but there's more than a handful that we have. So yes, AP support and IB support, a lot of advanced academics departments at various school districts throughout Texas. One of them being A-Leaf, who was a partner spotlight on a previous webinar we did, use Tutor.com to support those advanced academics initiatives. So yes.
Thank you, Zach. It doesn't look like we have further questions. Again, as we continue with our wrap-up slides, feel free to continue to ask your questions. Otherwise, Zach, I will hand it over to you to conclude today's webinar.
Awesome. Thank you all for joining us today. It's been a pleasure to have you all participating with us in this effort. It's always great to hear from districts. And then, of course, as we hear from students, this is the real proof in the pudding. So here are some testimonials from students that we've received about how Tutor.com has supported them. So here you have a couple of different testimonials talking about how student could understand or see that a tutor really loved to help students, that a student felt better off as a result of those sessions, and that maybe certain days of the week they knew they had hard homework, so they needed support on those days. So, here are some bits of feedback. Other accolades and recognition that we've received. These are some awards that we're really proud about that we've received, not only from EdTech awards, annual awards recognition, but we also have library awards. We have a huge division that partners with public libraries throughout the U.S. And so we've also received awards through the Modern Library. We also have received awards through the Council of Military Colleges and Educators for our work to support the U.S. military, and other EdTech awards for having cool platforms and also campus technology that helps students with distance learning and other e-learning needs. Feel free to reach out. We know that there might have been some questions we did not discuss today. We know that you're on lunch break or it's the middle of the workday and time doesn't stop. So if you have any other questions, you would like some additional information, feel free to reach out. Here's my contact information. You're more than welcome to email me or give me a call. We can chat about your Texas school district or region service center and how we can support your efforts. I want to thank Mercedes for helping organize today's PowerPoint and monitoring the chat. And want to also thank Laura for graciously giving her time and insight to share with you all as you all think about bringing tutoring to your district to support K through 12 students. And we will follow up. This recording will be posted. So if you want to rewatch it, maybe there's something you really like to hear, or somebody in your department that wasn't able to join today, feel free to also pass this discussion along to them so that we can keep in touch for bringing students back up to grade level. And with that, I think we are just about there. So thank you all once again for joining us, and we wish you all the best on this Tuesday afternoon and school year.